Today we're going to go over a topic that may seem complicated, and it can be, it is, but I'm going to basically discuss the relationship between interest rates, exchange rates, and inflation. Hello, my name is Emmanuel Obi, and this is just the basics. Today's topic can be a complicated one. It can get complicated, but basically, I'm going to try to give you a couple of examples to explain the relationship between interest rates, exchange rates, and inflation. So let's get started. The simplest way I can give you an example of how inflation and exchange rates kind of correlate is basically showing you the buying power of currencies and how that works within savings. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples, and this is actually directly from a couple of people who've come to my info sessions, one of which was Russian, the other one was Indian, and their thought process was that, okay, well, since Swiss banks give you a remarkably low, Swiss savings accounts give you a remarkably low interest rate, I'm going to send my money back to my home country where the interest rates there are much higher. And this kind of goes to the idea that the buying power of the money is important as well. So I'll give you a couple of examples to show you how that works. Since these people were Russian and Indian, I decided to use the ruby and the ruble. I went back to 2007, March 27th, 2007. I took 1,000 Swiss francs and I converted it to ruble and rupee. That leaves you with about 21,000 ruble and 35,000 rupee. Then I took that and I put it into a bank account, quote unquote, put it into a bank account that has 8% yearly compound interest. So the people that I was speaking to were saying that you can get, savings accounts with 8, 9, 10% interest rates. And so I said, okay, well, let's just do the calculation and then see where you stand 10 years later. So if you put the 21,000 ruble or the 35,000 rupee into a savings account for 10 years at 8% yearly compound interest, you end up with approximately 46,000 ruble and 76,000 rupees. So yay, you've doubled your money. Fantastic. However, how much was that money worth? So once you've converted the money back into Swiss francs, what you'll see is that on March 27th, 2017, 10 years later, the 46,252 ruble now translates into 798 Swiss francs, and then the 76,581 rupee is now 1,158 francs. So basically, by doing all of this, you lost about 200 bucks in ruble and got 158 bucks in rupee over the course of that 10 years. In one of my recent info sessions, the guy did make an argument like, okay, well, if you're going to plan on retiring in one of those countries that has the high interest rates, then it's still okay. And it's not, because if you were to keep that money, literally just keep it in Switzerland or whatever country that you're living in terms of the interest rates that you would have, then that means once you do move to that country, once you convert it, you would still have more money. So now we get into the Swiss savings account. Now, most Swiss savings accounts are giving you an interest rate of 0.25%, 0.22%, 0.3. There's a whole reason for this, and I go into that in one of my info sessions, actually. So I won't go into that here. In any case, if you take that same amount of money, the 1,000 francs, and you put it into a Swiss savings account at 0.25% yearly compound interest over 10 years, you will then have 1,025 francs. Now, the purpose of that was to say this. You have one of two options. One, you should invest some of your money. Now, keep a large portion, a comfortable portion in a savings account, because in case of emergencies, in case you just need money, in case you need cash, savings account is still a place where you can just take out money really quick and pay for whatever accidents or problems may occur. However, if you're using that as a tool to reach financial goals, it's a lot harder to do now because the interest rates are incredibly low in Switzerland. And to that point, if you were to invest or put your money somewhere where you could get just 3.5% interest, 3.5% interest is pretty low for investments. That's a relatively, low being a relative term. It's a relatively conservative slash balanced approach. So you weren't really putting a lot of risk into it. You're not taking a lot of risk. But if you were to do 3.5% interest on 1,000 francs over 10 years, it will grow to 1,410 francs. So basically, that's a 40% increase on your money just by taking it and putting it into something that's relatively conservative. And your next question may be, where should I invest and what should I put it in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Can't give you that information. I save that for my clients. Sorry. But invest. Now, to hammer that point home a little bit further, I did something that's calculation based on milk, so you can have a more tangible example. This has also been done with Coca-Cola. I think it was done basically on to be frank, I've looked at it, but the last time I looked at the Coca-Cola study to show how expensive places were, I don't know that they did it relative to time. I thought they just did it relative to, this year is how much this costs. That a Coca-Cola costs this much here, this much there, this much here, this much there, and then with that research, you can like just go back a few years and check. But I did it with milk. So 1 liter of milk in the year 2010. In New York, costs $2.27. In Zurich, it costs $1.10 or 1 franc 27 rappen. I'm using the US dollar as kind of the baseline for comparison to show a currency that's relatively strong versus currencies that may be strong, may not be strong, may be stronger, may be weaker. In Rio de Janeiro, a liter of milk costs $1.24 or 225 reais, and in Moscow, a liter of milk costs $1.24 or 38 ruble 40. I'll just be honest, I don't know the cent word in, I guess, for the Russian or the Rio currency, just the reais and the ruble. I don't know what cent is. So, what do you think happened to the cost of milk 6 years later? Let's go with New York first. In New York, the price of milk decreased by $1.17 to the price of $1.10. What do you think happened in Zurich? Did the price go up or did it go down? In Zurich, the price of milk went up 48 cents or 26 rappen. Now, what do you think happened in Rio? Did the price go up or did it go down? Well, funny enough, the cost of milk decreased 8 cents, US dollars, 8 cents, but it increased in reais by 176. And next you have Moscow. What happened to Russian milk? It decreased by 29 cents USD, but increased by 23 ruble 61. So despite the fact that the cost of milk actually decreased in USD, it actually costs you more in those two native currencies at the end of the day. So that shows that the buying power of the money is actually decreasing with time against other currencies where the buying power is basically staying around the same range. Like Zurich, the price jumped up, quote unquote, but it jumped up in both franc and in the dollar. So that shows that, the Swiss franc is a stable currency that's not going, or that hasn't lost its buying power. Can't say not going to, I can't predict the future. However, it had not in that time period. It stayed pretty steady. And those of you who have ever kept up with any of this stuff know that the Swiss franc is a pretty stable currency. And for those of you who have looked at less stable currencies, you know that the buying power of those currencies does fluctuate a lot and can decrease a lot over time. So again, all that is to say, be careful when it comes to saving and investing. Make sure to have some kind of investment. Make sure that you're putting your money somewhere where you can get favorable interest, preferably in a currency that is that has solid buying power, that isn't decreased over time. So do a little bit of research. Doesn't have to be anything complicated. Do a little bit of research and know what you're getting into. So that will do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the subscribe button right down there. And if you have any questions or comments, then just leave them in the comment section. Also, I am hosting an online info set, or a few online info sessions actually, through YouTube Live. So there will be a link in the description below. Just click on that, then you can register for it. It's completely free, and you can take part in that info session. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.